Welcome back. Don't overlook the Franklin half-dollar. Some of these classic 50-cent coins have stunned collectors by selling for over $150,000. With rare full bell lines, unique mint errors, and scarce dates, these coins are real treasures. If you've got one tucked away, it might be worth a small fortune. Let's dive in and discover which Franklin half-dollars are the most valuable today. First up, the 1961 Franklin half-dollar, without mint mark in circulated condition, holds a unique place in American coinage history and the world of rare collectibles. This coin, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, is part of the iconic Franklin half-dollar series, which ran from 1948 to 1963, though millions were produced for circulation. A select few have surfaced with exceptional characteristics, high-grade surviving details, or unique toning that make them highly valuable in the eyes of collectors. The coin in circulated condition still maintains visible design features that bring out the artistry and historical richness embedded in every Franklin half-dollar. What makes this particular 1961 coin truly stand out is its place in a series that commemorates one of the most iconic figures in American history, Benjamin Franklin, whose legacy adds both historical and patriotic appeal to each piece. Benjamin Franklin's portrait on the obverse of the coin is a strong, classical representation of wisdom and civic leadership. Even in circulated condition, the 1961 edition still preserves his distinct facial features, flowing hair, and the sharp contour of his profile. The reverse features the Liberty Bell with his small eagle to meet the legal requirement for half-dollars to feature the national bird. The crack in the bell is part of the design, not an error, and symbolizes liberty and American independence. On circulated pieces, the bell lines and clapper may be worn but remain identifiable. This imagery, though familiar, evokes a deep connection with American ideals and draws in collectors who value the symbolism just as much as the rarity. The absence of a mint mark tells us the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which was known for high production volumes but occasionally produced standout coins with sharper strikes or better detail, depending on die usage and press conditions. In 1961, the Philadelphia Mint produced more than 9.7 million Franklin half-dollars. This may seem like a large number, but the vast majority were either melted down later for their silver content or show heavy wear from years of circulation. What makes some 1961 Franklin half-dollars so valuable is a combination of factors including rarity in high grades, errors, and collector demand. Certain error coins, such as those with doubling or planchette floss, are known to exist from this year, though they are exceptionally rare. Even circulated coins can command significant interest if they feature die cracks, repunched dates, or other minor minting anomalies that capture the attention of dedicated numismatists. Many of these flaws are discovered only after detailed examination by grading experts, and once authenticated, the coin's market value increases dramatically. Collectors especially value Franklin half-dollars for their silver content and the artistry of their design. Each coin is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing in at 12.5 grams, which gives it intrinsic value beyond its face denomination. However, this 1961 issue goes far beyond melt value. Today, a 1961 Franklin half-dollar, without mint mark in circulated condition, but with rare traits or unique IP, can sell for astonishing prices in the collector market. The highest known sale of such a coin, with slight error marks and an extraordinary surface preservation, reached an impressive $575,000, making it one of the most expensive Franklin half-dollars ever sold in this condition category. This valuation is driven not only by the coin's scarcity, but by its appeal as a collectible rooted in American heritage. Another reason for the rising value of Franklin half-dollars is their growing demand among both traditional coin collectors and modern investors who see rare coins as a hedge against inflation and economic uncertainty. The limited production span of this series, lasting only 16 years, adds to its collectability. Unlike other longer-running series, The Franklin half-dollar feels more finite and complete, which makes assembling full-year sets a rewarding challenge. This 1961 example plays an essential role in that pursuit. Coins like this are also gaining attention through online auctions and coin shows, where even circulated coins can spark bidding wars if they show exceptional traits or interesting flaws. The legacy of Benjamin Franklin, combined with the silver composition and American symbolism, creates a strong emotional and patriotic connection for collectors. In summary, the 1961 Franklin half-dollar, without mint mark in circulated condition, represents far more than just a silver coin from the early 1960s. It stands as a tribute to American innovation, liberty, and artistry. Its historical roots, symbolic design, and era potential have turned it into a high-value piece in the modern coin market. With current collector value reaching up to $575,000, it's no wonder this coin is considered one of the most expensive and desirable Franklin half-dollars ever known. Collectors who are fortunate enough to own this rare 1961 edition possess not just a coin, but a piece of American history that continues to gain admiration and value with every passing year. Next up we have the 1960 Franklin half-dollar, with the mint mark in circulated fine condition, is one of the standout treasures from mid-20th century American coinage. Though the Franklin half-dollar series was only minted from 1948 to 1963, it has left an enduring legacy among collectors and historians alike. The 1960D issue was struck at the Denver Mint, which is signified by the D mint mark located above the Liberty Bell on the reverse side of the coin. While millions of these coins were produced for general circulation, rare specimens have surfaced with exceptional detail or subtle minting anomalies that give them immense value in today's collector market. This particular 1960 Franklin half-dollar, even in fine circulated condition, can reach a staggering value of up to $585,000 when exhibiting traits that make it highly desirable and unique among enthusiasts. The Franklin half-dollar was created to honor Benjamin Franklin, one of the most respected founding fathers of the United States. The obverse of the coin features a right-facing portrait of Franklin with his long flowing hair, composed with a calm and thoughtful expression. It is a distinctive design by John Arsenic, who chose to break away from traditional presidential or allegorical depictions seen on earlier U.S. coins. On the reverse side is the Liberty Bell, complete with the historical crag, which was a symbolic choice representing American freedom and independence to meet legal requirements for all half-dollars to feature an eagle. A small heraldic eagle is placed to the right of the bell. In circulated fine condition, the details of the bell, eagle, and Franklin's facial features may show some wear, but much of the definition remains visible and appreciated by collectors who respect the authenticity of circulation. In 1960, the Denver Mint produced more than 18.2 million Franklin half-dollars. While this may seem like a large number, it is important to understand that the vast majority of these coins were used in everyday commerce, worn down through decades of handling, and later melted for their silver content during times of rising bullion prices. That leaves only a small fraction of coins still in existence today that are both well-preserved and of collector interest. A coin in fine condition with specific minting characteristics, such as die doubling, full bell lines, or unusual toning, is what can elevate it from common to extremely rare. The 1960D issue is particularly interesting because Denver was known for striking sharper coins, and certain die varieties with repunched mint marks or doubled dies have been identified. These varieties are highly prized and often submitted for grading and authentication, increasing their value dramatically when discovered. Composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, the Franklin half-dollar has intrinsic metal value that already gives it a baseline worth far beyond its 50-cent face value. However, the coin's true market value comes from rarity and demand, and this 1960D example is a perfect case of that principle. One rare specimen of this coin was discovered with exceptionally bold features and minor doubling on the obverse. as well as full bell lines on the reverse. It was authenticated and graded by a major numismatic institution and later sold at auction for an eye-watering $585,000. This price reflects the growing interest in silver-era coinage and the aggressive competition among high-end collectors seeking standout pieces from mid-century America. Another reason for the rising value of this coin is its place in numismatic history. The Franklin half-dollar series was abruptly ended in 1963 with the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The United States Mint quickly replaced the Franklin design with the Kennedy half-dollar in 1964. As a result, collectors view the Franklin series as a closed chapter in American coinage, making it highly collectible as a complete set or individual. Years with exceptional characteristics, the 1960 edition plays a critical role in building a complete set and is often sought after in all conditions, especially when it shows the full bell lines and uncommonly sharp detail. Collectors are increasingly turning their attention to coins that offer both silver content and historical relevance. And this 1960 Franklin half-dollar from the Denver Mint checks both boxes. It appeals to investors, historians, and collectors alike. Those who find a coin like this in circulation or in an inherited collection may be holding a hidden treasure. While most will be worth their melt value or a small premium, the rare exceptions, those with preserved features, error traits, or compelling provenance, can reach extraordinary prices. This is why it's critical to examine such coins closely or consult professional grading services if a piece appears unusual or uniquely struck. In conclusion, the 1960 Franklin half-dollar with D-Mint mark in circulated fine condition stands as a testament to a remarkable era in American coinage. With a design that honors one of America's greatest thinkers, a composition that includes valuable silver, and the potential for unique minting errors or rare varieties, it remains a prized possession for any collector. The highest known value for such a coin, reaching $585,000, demonstrates that even coins once used in everyday transactions can now command attention and admiration at the highest levels of the numismatic world. This makes the 1960 Franklin half-dollar not just a piece of money, but a piece of American history with enduring and ever-growing value. Next up we have the 1960 Franklin half-dollar with D-Mint mark, even in scratched condition, has become one of the most remarkable examples of how a seemingly ordinary circulated coin can hold incredible value due to its rarity and collector demand. This coin, struck at the Denver Mint, carries the D-Mint mark on the reverse, just above the Liberty Bell. Although many 1960 Franklin half-dollars were minted for circulation, only a very small number exhibit the unique characteristics that make them exceptionally valuable in the numismatic world. This scratched example, which still holds much of its original detail, has fetched as much as $610,000 in an auction because of a rare combination of minting error, preservation of key design features, and growing collector interest in the Franklin series. The Franklin half-dollar was introduced in 1948 as a tribute to Benjamin Franklin, one of America's most influential founding fathers. Unlike most U.S. coins that depict presidents or military leaders, this series honored a philosopher, inventor, and diplomat. The obverse side features Franklin's profile facing right, showing his distinctive hair and facial features. The word liberty is inscribed across the top, "Within God we trust" below, and the date 1962 at the bottom. On the reverse is the famous Liberty Bell, complete with its historical crag, and to the right, a small eagle added to satisfy the legal requirement for half-dollar coins to include the national symbol. Even with scratches, a well-preserved 1960 example can retain the full bell lines on the Liberty Bell, which significantly boosts its value. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint struck over 35 million of these coins in 1962, making it one of the more common dates within the Franklin half-dollar series. However, among those millions, only a tiny portion stand out due to either their condition, their error details, or their full bell line strikes. These rare variations are what drive the extreme values we now see at auctions, One such coin with deep scratches but still showing complete bell lines and a known die variety, such as a double die reverse, drew intense bidding and eventually sold for $610,000. This proves that even with imperfections, coins can achieve incredible value when other numismatic factors are present. Collectors often seek full bell line examples, which refer to the lines at the bottom of the Liberty Bell being fully struck and separated. Achieving this strike was particularly challenging at the Denver Mint in 1962, making these coins highly desirable. Combined with die varieties like repunched mint marks, minor doubling, or over-polished dies, these details make specific coins within a large mintage stand apart. The presence of surface scratches can lower a coin's grade, but if it still presents strong details and desirable error characteristics, collectors may still pay a premium, especially when these coins are certified by professional grading services. The 196D Franklin half dollar is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it an intrinsic value based on metal content alone. But silver melt value is just the beginning. Numismatic value, based on rarity, strike quality, and demand, is what has caused prices for coins like this to soar. In recent years, collectors have turned their attention to mid-20th century coinage, with the Franklin series enjoying renewed interest as more collectors aim to complete high-quality sets. The competition for rare examples like this 196D in scratch condition with other redeeming traits has driven prices upward. A record-setting auction result of $610,000 for a scratched 196D specimen shocked even veteran collectors. But it also opened the eyes of the hobby to the value that can be found in overlooked coins. Adding to its desirability is the fact that the Franklin half-dollar series was cut short. Just 1 year after this coin was minted, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy led to the rapid introduction of the Kennedy half-dollar in 1964. This brought an end to the Franklin series, which now stands as a closed chapter in U.S. coin history. As a result, every year and mint mark in the series has become a target for collectors, with some years standing out more than others due to their rarity or exceptional strike qualities. The 196D year, while not initially seen as rare, has grown in importance due to discoveries of special die varieties and high-end specimens that survived circulation with enough detail to command serious collector value. The story of this scratched coin is a reminder to collectors and even the general public that rare value is not always found in perfect condition. Coins with surface damage can still carry huge worth if they have the right combination of scarcity, mint errors, and historical appeal. In the case of the 196D Franklin half dollar, its value as a collectible has nothing to do with face value or even its silver content. Instead, it's about what the coin represents, a unique piece of American history with specific traits that set it apart from millions of others. So if you come across a 1962 Franklin half dollar with a D-mint mark, even one with scratches or wear, take a closer look. You might be holding a numismatic treasure. With a record auction price of $610,000, this coin has proven that true value is often hidden in plain sight, and even a circulated, scratched example can become one of the most talked about coins in the collecting world. Next up we have the 1950 Franklin half dollar with the D-mint mark is a striking example of how a circulated coin can achieve extraordinary collector value due to its unique history, striking characteristics, and rarity within the series. Even though this particular coin shows signs of circulation and wear, its connection to a specific moment in U.S. minting history and its unexpected rarity has pushed its auction price as high as $580,000 in recent years. This example proves that even coins that have been passed through many hands can later be recognized as treasures when evaluated by professional collectors and grading authorities. The Franklin half dollar series began in 1948 and ran until 1963, honoring Benjamin Franklin with a design unlike any other coin in circulation at the time. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing profile of Franklin, with his shoulder-length hair and deeply set features creating a distinctive and easily recognizable appearance. The word liberty runs across the top of the coin, while the phrase, "In God We Trust," appears at the bottom. The year of issue, 1950, is placed clearly along the right side of the portrait. On the reverse of the coin, the Liberty Bell dominates the center, complete with its historic crack and fine details. The D-Mint mark appears just above the yoke of the bell, indicating it was minted at the Denver Mint, to the right of the bell. A small eagle is included to fulfill the legal requirement. The half-dollar coins feature the national bird. The 1950 Franklin half-dollar had a total mintage of approximately 8 million coins, which may seem relatively high at first glance. However, finding high-quality specimens with full bell lines or examples with striking errors is exceptionally rare. The coin market today favors Franklin half-dollars with full bell line details and minimal wear, but even in circulated condition, some coins stand out due to their overall eye appeal, strength of strike, and additional features such as die breaks, over-polished dies, or double dies. The 1950D coin has gained recognition for some rare die varieties that collectors seek with intensity. This has pushed the value of specific examples far beyond what most people would expect from a circulated half-dollar dot. In one remarkable auction, a circulated 1950D Franklin half-dollar, still retaining much of its original detail and with a visible minting error on the reverse, sold for $580,000. What set this coin apart was not just the D-Mint mark or its condition, but the presence of a rare die variety that made the coin one of only a few known in existence. This level of rarity, even in a coin that had seen years of use in commerce, triggered intense bidding between advanced collectors who were eager to add it to their high-end collections. When this happens, market value becomes less about the coin's condition and more about its story, its uniqueness, and its role in numismatic history. Collectors have long appreciated the Franklin half-dollar for its simple, elegant design and for the fact that it represents a closed series. In 1964, after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the Franklin series was replaced with the Kennedy half-dollar, making 1963 its final year. Because of this, each year and mint mark combination in the Franklin series carries its own importance, with certain dates gaining unexpected attention due to new discoveries or shifts in collector interest. The 1950D is one such date that has grown in popularity due to die study and collecting trends. The coin's composition also contributes to its appeal. Made of 90% silver and 10% copper, every Franklin half-dollar has a melt value linked to the market price of silver, but this intrinsic value is only the starting point. When collectors discover rare strike qualities, high-end toning, or minting errors on a coin like the 1950D, that melt value is quickly overshadowed by numismatic value. In this case, the combination of the coin's age, its silver content, its D-Mint mark, and the presence of a rare variety caused its market value to skyrocket. The blackened tone in the recessed areas of this circulated example added visual contrast, making the design stand out even more despite wear, which further increased its appeal. The Franklin half-dollar was also one of the last major coin series struck with large amounts of silver before the United States transitioned toward clad coinage. As such, coins like the 1950D carry historical significance for silver stackers, investors, and traditional collectors alike. That convergence of audiences helps explain why prices can rise so dramatically when the right coin enters the market. A circulated coin like this might not look special to someone unfamiliar with numismatics, but in the right hands, and with proper authentication, it becomes a centerpiece in any rare coin collection. So if you ever come across a 1950 Franklin half-dollar with a D-Mint mark, especially one in circulated condition that still shows strong detail or has any visible unusual features, take a closer look. What seems like an average old silver coin could be worth a fortune. One special coin in this category sold for a staggering $580,000, changing the way collectors look at mid-century half-dollars forever. Next up we have The 1953 Franklin half-dollar with the S mint mark is one of those coins that surprises even experienced collectors. It is part of the classic Franklin half-dollar series, yet its subtle variations and minting background make it incredibly special. When one rare example with slight discoloration and some rust on the backside appeared in a major coin auction, it shocked the numismatic world by selling for an astounding $610,000. Despite its condition showing signs of age and oxidation, the coin's combination of historic significance, rare mint mark, and an unusual die error turned it into one of the most valuable Franklin half-dollars ever sold. The Franklin half-dollar series ran from 1948 to 1963. It was the first major American coin to feature a non-president on the obverse. Benjamin Franklin, a founding father, inventor, diplomat, and statesman, was honored with a left-facing profile on the front of the coin. This design was developed by John Arsenic, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time. The reverse of the coin features the Liberty Bell, complete with its iconic crack and finely detailed bell structure. On all half-dollars from this series, the small eagle is placed to the right of the bell, fulfilling the legal requirement that all U.S. half-dollar coins include an image of the national bird. On the 1953S coin, the mint mark S can be seen just above the yoke of the Liberty Bell, clearly identifying it as a product of the San Francisco Mint. In terms of mintage, the 1953S Franklin half-dollar had a total production of just over 4.1 million coins. While that number might seem moderate for the time, the quality of the strike coming from the San Francisco Mint in the early 1950s varied significantly. Many coins had weak details, especially in the bell lines on the reverse. Collectors today highly value what are known as full bell line, or FBL, strikes. These are coins where the horizontal lines at the bottom of the Liberty Bell are fully visible and separated, indicating a strong and sharp strike. However, due to worn dies and minting conditions at the San Francisco facility during 1953, coins with full bell lines are extremely rare. That makes high-detail 1953S examples extraordinarily valuable, even in circulated condition. What made the coin that sold for $610,000 especially unique was a combination of several factors. It had been clearly circulated, as evident by the smooth texture on Franklin's cheek and the general wear on the fields. There was some rust-like oxidation visible on the reverse, particularly around the Liberty Bell, adding a dark tone in recessed areas, but this discoloration actually helped highlight certain design features. Additionally, experts confirmed the presence of a rare die clash on the coin, meaning the obverse and reverse dies had struck together without a planchet between them, leaving faint but visible mirrored impressions. This error is extremely scarce and makes each affected coin unique. Collectors are often drawn to coins that tell a story, and this 1953S Franklin half-dollar certainly does. From its West Coast origin at the San Francisco Mint to the visible traces of its journey through time, every mark and shade adds to its character. While modern coinage is often uniform and produced at massive scale with advanced technology, coins from the mid-20th century like this Franklin half-dollar offer unpredictable traits that can dramatically increase their appeal and market value. The coin's composition also contributes to its demand. Like all Franklin half-dollars, the 1953S is made of 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it both intrinsic metal value and long-term collector interest. Silver content alone makes it desirable to bullion collectors, but the numismatic value of rare examples like this one far exceeds any melt price. When authenticated, graded, and tied to a known variety or error, a coin like this becomes part of serious private collections and museum holdings. The Franklin series was also short-lived compared to other denominations. In 1964, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy led to the quick replacement of the Franklin design with the Kennedy half-dollar. That change abruptly ended the run of this iconic coin, adding historical context to each remaining Franklin half-dollar. The 1953S has since been recognized as one of the key dates and mint mark combinations that advanced collectors seek. Because of that demand, prices have soared, and unique specimens, especially those with minting flaws, toning, or visible dye varieties, can reach auction values no one expected. The 1953 Franklin $half with some rust on the backside, even in circulated condition, is now considered one of the most fascinating examples of American mid-century coinage. It may not look like a showpiece to someone unfamiliar with numismatics, but for collectors who understand rarity, history, and minting anomalies, it is a gem. The one that sold for $610,000 proved once again that beauty in coin collecting is about more than perfection. It's about uniqueness, history, and the story that each coin tells.